Good afternoon. It's Wednesday afternoon, November 3rd, 1993, and we're at Dushan Field in Glen Ellen, Illinois, where we're here for the first round of the IHSA playoffs, 6A, round one for 1993. The Saints are here to take on the Glenbard West Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers are wound up their season an impressive 6-3, and the three losses only by a total of 14 points. And that record in the Western Suburban Silver Conference. The Saints, meanwhile, coming as upstate A champions, have completed a 9-0 slate last week with the victory at West Aurora. On a bad note for the Saints coming to this ball game, starting halfback Kirk Wilderspin is out with a badly sprained ankle, which again took place on that West game. And there were some questions before the game on how bad Baker would, or whether he would appear in this game, that he hurt his back also in the West game. We're looking at a very, very impressive team, as I mentioned before, in the Glenbard West Hilltoppers. They're led by quarterback Matt Bowen, who's running for 795 yards. And that ranks right up to where Parker and Wilderspin in numbers. Parker, by the way, was at 728, Wilderspin at 848. And then Rafael Tolentino has rushed for 786 yards. And now Bowen's the quarterback, Tolentino's a halfback. So we're going to see an option quarterback running game from this Glenbard West team. On the receiving end, look for Hassani Steele. He is number 84. He's caught 13 passes for 477 yards. He's averaged 37 yards per reception. And their tight end, a big tight end, 6'4", Matt Brennan, who's caught 9 passes and an average of 21.7 yards per completion. Of course, the Saints are led by quarterback Ron Evans, who's completed 46 of 78 for 698 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's only been intercepted twice. As a matter of fact, the Saints quarterbacks only intercepted twice all season long. And in the receiving end, we mentioned Parker Wilderspin. On the receiving end, they are led truly by Todd Wyatt, 24 catches on the year, 391 yards, 4 TDs. He could have had more also. Last week, he had a long touchdown run called back. We're all ready to go as the offensive team for Glenbard West is being announced on the field, and the Saints are ready to go on the far sideline. We'll be back in a moment with the start of this game. Let's note before we open the kickoff that this video is made possible in part by donations from Bulk Holding Compounds Incorporated, St. Charles, and by HIP Temporary Staffing of Batavian. Thank you to both of those businesses for donations toward this video program. Saints are going to kick off as usual, and Brian Polly will do the honors for the Saints. The kick returners for Glenbard West are led by Rafael Tolentino, and he's number 22, and he's brought back 13 on the season for 146 yards, an average of 11-2. Let's see if Tolentino is out there. Yeah. He's getting a lot of snags. And the hearts are beating on the field. The adrenaline is flowing, and there's nothing like playoff football to really get things going in the state of Illinois. Last year, of course, we had an unbelievable game, probably the best, or most exciting, at least, that anyone has seen in Bolingbrook. And again, a year before, when the Saints won their very, very first playoff game against Conant, the same can be said about the excitement. Let's hope that that same excitement is here today in this ball game. Going deep is number 84. That is Hassani Steele. And Steele's returned 4 on the season, averaging 17 yards. And also back there is Tolentino, number 24. That's Rafael Tolentino. And number 23, Ron Tolentino, was Raphael's junior brother. Raphael is a senior. Holly's got a very strong wind at his back, about 20 miles an hour. The temperature is in the mid-50s. It was cold last night, and there's a partly cloudy overhead, although there is some sun shining on the field at the moment. There's a line drive spinning kick. That's at the 5-yard line, goes into the end zone for the touchback, and the Hilltoppers will start at their own 20-yard line, first and 10.
Blast. And you got.
And you look for Matt Bowen and Raphael Tolentino to carry the ball. Again, 795 and 786 yards, respectively, between them. The backs are Tolentino, number 22, and Ben Russell, he's number 31. And this is a junior quarterback, Bowen. To give, well, Tolentino is going to be hit for basically no gain, driven back by Jamie Wu to the 19-yard line, but I'm sure they'll call it maybe a half-yard gain at the 20 and a half. It'll bring up a second down and 9.
I couldn't tell. I just know Jamie was there.
Stop made by number 71, Jamie Wu.
I really have to watch that outside ball going.
You know, something.
Second down and 9.5.
We didn't have many guys swarming.
We won't credit Tolentino for that yard yet. He never made it over the 21. Backs are in the pro set, and there's a double tight end set up with a flanker on the right. The keeper by Bowen, and he's going to be trapped in back of the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Saints. Out there was Pete Galatro and also Scott Armstrong, and that's going to be a loss of about a yard on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 11.
Stop made by number 68, Scott Armstrong.
Okay, 3rd down and 11. Hilltoppers starting just outside their 19-yard line. Clock shows 10:44 left here in the opening quarter of this first-round playoff game. Bowen looking over the Saints' defense. Backs are in tight. And looking to pass is Bowen. He's got a rush from Armstrong back to the 5. He's going to be tripped up. He's going to be taken down to the 7-yard line. And Scott Armstrong, with good pursuit also, was Jamie Wu down there, basically the Saints' front 4. And it's a loss back to the 7-yard line, a loss of 12 on the play. It'll bring up a 4th down and long.
I didn't see anything coming back last.
Standing at the 39-yard line of the Hilltoppers as the punter, Mike Schoen, will be punting into this strong wind. He's standing about 3 yards into his own end zone. Saints looking to rush. There's Schoen to walk away, and Schoen goes down. There's going to be a flag against the Saints. And Allen at the 37 down the near sideline is driven out of bounds at the 29. But there's going to be a roughing the kicker call against the Saints, and that flag laying back at the goal line on the Hilltopper side of the field. Automatic first down, and the ball's out to the 23. This drive started at the 20, and a good Saints defensive stand is negated, and good field position on that Chris Allen punt return negated. And let's hope this isn't a big gift to the Hilltoppers early. There's Bowen looking to pass to his right, and he's got a man out there with Brennan for the first down, a gain of about 14 yards. Chris Allen with the stop. At the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 Hilltoppers. Out to the near side comes Steele. Brennan, the tight end, and that pass on the far side. It's Tolentino, Raphael, number 22. And also Ben Russell, the backs for Bowen. Bowen looking to pass the ball into the wind. It's going to fall short. Kenny had the interception and didn't hold on at his own 36-yard line. He was the only one there for that ball, and he couldn't catch it. So another break for the Hilltoppers will bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 38. There's 9:11 left. And that wind is tough, and quarterback Matt Bowen threw right into it. It completely died, and Brian Genie will try to make amends on this play that's coming his way. Bowen coming to the near side. He's got some pursuit by Galatro, now turns the corner, and Genie going to stop him out at the 43-yard line. A gain of 5 on the play, bring up a 3rd and 5.
Just put Pete right on the right. Came very close to being
We got right.
3rd down and 5 at the 43 of Glenbard West. This time the pro set is offset to the left side of the Hilltopper offensive line, and Tolentino is almost directly in back of Bowen, and the give is to Tolentino. First down and 4, he's over the 45 down to the 43-yard line for the Saints. Chris Allen with the stop. And a big gain for the Hilltoppers in the first down in Saints territory. So that roughing the kicker penalty coming back now to really hurt the Saints on this opening period drive for the Hilltoppers. Ball spotted on the 42.5-yard line. 8:12 left, and the clock is running out in the first quarter. There is no score from Glen Ellen. Flanker on the far side, it's Steele, Hassani Steele. The backs Russell and Tolentino. And the give is to Tolentino, and he runs right into Jamie Wu, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. And also there is Mike Bachman, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Michael Bachman and number 71, Jamie Wu.
Well, they gave Tolentino a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 at the 42. Looking over the Saints defense is Bowen, something he didn't like. He delayed. Now he's going to pitch the ball to the Tolentino. Out to meet him there is Ryan Peterson for a loss back to the 49-yard line. Sniffed out nicely by Ryan Peterson. Loss of 6 on the play. He'll bring up a 3rd down and almost 16.
A loss of a few yards in the play.
Looking at the Saints defense quickly, the starters number 67, Mike Bachman, number 69, Ken Robinson, number 71, Jamie Wu, and number 68, Scott Armstrong. Those are the defensive linemen who are starters. And just again, notice that Brad Baker did start the game, so his back must be feeling all right at the moment. And he has had head on at the 44-yard line. Baker is there, and Scott Armstrong, and that's going to be about 12 yards shy of a first down. Steve Alfalfa also helped out. They'll bring up 4th and 11 at the Saint 44. The clock shows 6:22 left, and the Saints haven't had the ball yet.
The ball is on the St. Charles 44-yard line.
Mike Schoen will punt from his own 45-yard line. 2nd time that he's doing that this game. First time he was roughed by the Saints. And there's a good punt into a strong wind. Allen back at his own 11-yard line. Reverses the field to the left side. He's going to be headed in the corner, and he turns it. And a nice return up the far sideline. Didn't go out of bounds. He's still on his feet at the 40. I don't believe it. Chris Allen run back a punt. Touchdown, a 89-yard touchdown return on the punt by Chris Allen, and the Saints are on top 6-0.
I know.
Got a couple of flags.
Yes.
Well, Chris Allen has taken our breath away again, and he, by right, should have been tackled back at the 13-yard line. He circled at the 11. There were 3 Glenbard West tacklers after him. Tippy-toed up the sideline at the 20, and then cut back inside and down the right sideline, wide open all the way for that touchdown. Ryan Evans attempting the extra point. A good snap from center. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left in this first quarter of this first round playoff game, the St. Charles Fighting Saints lead the Glenbard West Hilltoppers 7-0.
Yeah, take another look. It's been nearly perfect on the season.
It's his 3rd touchdown out of 16. 16 touchdown.
Yeah.
377 to go.
Exactly what St. Charles
Turn this on, Mike.
So far, man.
Turn this on.
Second and long.
Okay, Brian Polly will kick off. And we're looking at Chris Allen's punting numbers. Coming into the game, he averaged 18 yards per punt return. That was his 16th punt return of the season for 89 yards and his 3rd touchdown out of 16 attempts. There's Polly a kicking deep end over end to Tolentino at the 7. Coming up the middle, he's at the 15, the 20. He's got a hole, but no, stopping him there. Eyes wide around him was Steve O'Neill for the Saints, a sophomore brought up, and the Hilltoppers are going to have the ball. The Saints have been on defense most of this quarter, have not been out on offense yet. And the Saints lead 7-0, ball at the 27 of Glenbard West.
Ball on their own 28-yard line.
Well, we have 5:16 left. Saints have touched the ball once. Chris Allen for a few seconds, a few precious seconds. And back on defense are the Saints. That first man through, Tolentino, picks up maybe 3 yards out to the 30-yard line. He's game tackled over there, led by Armstrong and by, let's see, who else was there? Ken Robinson. So a 3-yard gain for Tolentino. And he's to the left of quarterback Matt Bowen. To the right is Ben Russell, double tight end set. And you look at Brennan on that far tight end as the potential receiver, and then of course Hassani Steele. There's the pitch to Tolentino, makes the turn, and he's going to be dropped after another 3-yard gain. Making the first stop for the Saints was Pete Galantro.
And number 64. 5 yards on the play brings up a 3rd and 2.
5-yard gain for Tolentino, bring up a 3rd down and 2. The ball spotted just over the Hilltopper 35-yard line. The clock shows 3:57 and counting. Again, the Saints offense has not been on the field yet. Let's hope the defense is keeping together as far as conditioning is concerned. There's, tremendous stop, and we've got Mike Bachman grabbing the ball carrier from behind. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage as Bachman prevented him from getting to the 35. If they give him anything, I'll be surprised. And he said he got a half yard. How, I don't know. He'll bring up a 4th down now and 1.
Michael Bachman,
quarterback came out.
brings up a
That was Ben Russell's first carry, and that'll be 4th and 1. And Shore will again punch. At the 30-yard line of the Saints is Chris Allen, and he's got, I think, John Goldie there, and who's taking Witherspoon's place is Charlie Parker, shown at his own 25-yard line. And there's a good snap from center. Shown almost had it blocked by Mike Bachman. And John Goldie got off the punt that died in the wind out of 37.5. So for the first time this afternoon, with 2:56 left in the first, we'll see the Saints offense.
John Goldie.
Okay, no huddle for the Saints. Allen takes Witherspoon's place, that offset eye. He's the fullback. Parker, the halfback, excuse me. Chad Stone out to the near side. The ball at the 37.5. Evans got the wind at his back, looking to throw, and the ball's going to be tipped. And the ball called incomplete. It was basically underthrown, as the only guy we could see out there was Brian Whitney out at the 45-yard line. We'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Number 84.
Otherwise, don't get it.
That pass intended for Chad Stone, and Stone comes out to the near side. Scott Graham in the slot. Allen and Parker the backs. Parker runs into some traffic, trying to pick up maybe 2 yards out to the 39. I don't think he even got to the 40. And Charlie Parker picks up where he left off last week. He had a lot of trouble running against West. And that's a similar run though we saw last Friday night. Stop made by Dan Solanskis, number 80. 3rd down and 8, the ball just inside the Saint 40-yard line. Evans looking to pass. He sees Worthy open. Now he's going to throw. Yep, he throws to a longer man. It's Allen at the 42-yard line, out of bounds. He was pushed out of bounds by...
Yeah, let's do it that way. Slide left 56. Split side, let's check. No, they won't. They're not going to.
Allen was pushed out of bounds by Matt Brennan. That was an 18-yard gain and the Saints' first down of the afternoon. There's 2:07 left, and they're in Glenbard West territory at the 42-yard line. Allen and Parker remain the backs. This time Allen is in that tailback formation. Gives to Parker, and he's going to gain a 1 yard down to the 41. Stop was made by Tony Cozy, number 52. Mike Victor, number 73, also helped out on that stop. Now we've got Withy bringing the play in. He's going out to the far side as a flanker. Chad Stone on the near side. This time the backs are in a pro set, Allen and Parker. The tight end is Todd Wyatt. The ball at the 41. And there's a slow developing play, and Evans looking to throw. He's got a man wide open. It's Allen at the 27, and he's going to be taken down at the 23-yard line. The stop made by Peter Lee, but another Saint first down. The Saints are driving. Well-developed play for the Saints that time as Ryan Evans took his time on the fake handoffs, then rolled and hit a wide-open Chris Allen at the 23-yard line. Backs in a pro set. Looks like John Goldie and now at running back. And a gift to Parker, no gain. And Charlie, 3 carries. He's got very little in terms of yardage. It'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Randy Kretsch made that stop. He's number 66. 2nd and 9. The ball at the 22-yard line. And Evans on the delay gives to Parker. Parker at the 20, down to the 15, down to the 14-yard line. He'll be just shy of the first down, I believe. The tackle was made by Christian Heinz, and he'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
Robinson is in.
2 seconds, 1 second left in the first quarter, and that ends one quarter of play here at Glenbard West High School at Dushan Field. And the score of the St. Charles Fighting Saints 7, the Glenbard West Hilltoppers nothing. Okay, starting the second quarter of play, the Saints have a third down and a long one at the 15. The jumbo is in, and it's Ken Robinson, the blocking back, with Parker and Allen, the setbacks for the Saints. Jumping offside on the right side, and let's see if he was drawn out. Coming right across the line was Randy Kretsch, but let's see if it's a movement on the Saints or whether it's going to be 5 against the Hilltoppers, in which case it'll be a first down.
Against them, Bob. Let's go blast right.
Penalty at the one offside for 5.
Well, Kretsch was offside, and it's a gift first down for the Saints. The ball's inside the 10. It's first and goal.
Yeah.
The clock shows 11:49 left.
We won't do that.
And coming up on the line are the linebackers for Glenbard West. And Evans Keats tries to crawl ahead, may pick up a yard or two. That was a good effort by Mike Renna. Mike Renna at quarterback carrying that ball. The stop was made by Kretsch.
Check. Last left at 17.
Comes back in.
So on that particular play, Mike Renna comes in at quarterback. He runs the ball, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play.
Right in the middle.
And now it's a jumble from the 7-yard line.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Armstrong is back in.
Yeah, I saw him jump.
And Ryan Evans is the quarterback. Evans gives to Allen, and touchdown! 7-yard run, Chris Allen, Saints on top, 13-0 with 10:58 left here in the first quarter. Attempting to kick the extra point will be Ryan Evans. Now he's got the wind into his face. I don't think it should be a factor if he's kicking the ball like he's capable of. A good snap from center, good blocking. The kick is up and is good. And with 10 minutes and 58 seconds left here until halftime at Glenbard West, the score of the St. Charles Fighting Saints 14, the Hilltoppers nothing.
28 extra points this year to go along with 7 field goals for 49.
Would you get a close-up on
Hey, Buck, they're going to man up 82. We might want to send our running back on it out of the ace and send him deep. Send him on a 3.
You got to change up for that twin set.
See, there was a white line on it.
He just came out with 35.
Okay, the Saints will kick off to start this next series for the Hilltoppers. 10:58 left. Saints on top, 14-0. Chris Allen on top, 14-0. As he scored both Saints touchdowns on a punt return and a 7-yard run from scrimmage. Pollia will kick off into the wind, and the wind blows the ball off the tee, and Pollia will have to reset it. We got Steele DB standing at his 3-yard line. Talentino, number 22 and number 23. It's Ron and Raphael standing at their own 7-yard line. Let's see how Pollia does going into the wind this time. And there's a relatively low kick. It's going to hit at the 15. It gets down to the 10. It's going to be picked up by Steele at the 9-yard line. Saints overrun it. Now there's going to be good coverage. Furno is over there, takes him down. Kevin Furno with great special teams play taking down Steele at the 9-yard line. And Kevin Furno joins our own personal list of special team all-stars. We've got Eric Nauman on that list, and Chris Benters, among others, that have done some outstanding work on kickoff and punt returns this year. For the third time, the Hilltoppers have the ball. This time, they spot it at the 10. And Bowen, the quarterback, looking to pass. He's got the ring. Out there, Steele. And John Goldie's the only one who may be able to get him. It's going to go all the way as Goldie comes in a 90-yard return for Steele on the pass from Bowen.
10 yards. 10 yards.
And the Hilltoppers up more in the pace. Up the more in the pace. Right by 5.
Defensive backs in the state. And again here, Glenbard West right back in the ball game now, down 14.
Well, on that play, Chris Allen was not at free safety as John Goldie was in, and I didn't really get a good look at the Saints' defensive lineup. They got blocked by Mike Bachman, big block. And with 10:17 left here in the first half of play at Dushan Field, the Saints now lead the Hilltoppers 14-6.
6-7 broke that one between a guard and tackle. Yes. Yeah, what?
You know what, Joey, he's
This is league.
fill out. He might end up being about
He was on the sideline today. Can't hear you, George. He's throwing some more darts. Oh, it just keeps going.
Okay, that touchdown took place 41 seconds after Chris Allen's 7-yard run. And the Hilltoppers on the scoreboard. Now they trail the Saints 14-6. Deep for the Saints is Chris Allen. He's standing back at the 9-yard line. And normally if Kirk Wilderspin were here, Wilderspin would be screening Allen's position on the field. But it's a single safety this time for the Saints as Mike Shane or Schoen will kick off. And he's got the wind at his back. And there's a squib kick coming up the middle. Ken Blazing takes it at the 27-yard line. Blazing's got some room, and he's going to be down out at the 41-yard line. 14-yard return for Blazing. That was a good return on that kick, and the stop was made by Jay Woods.
ball out of the hands of
Stop made by number 85.
Ball taken.
anybody but Chris Allen.
Right. Have a 41-yard
First
line.
and 10, St. Charles on the 41-yard line.
Looking at the Saints offense, the center is Zach DeRico, number 63. The guards, Andy McPeak, number 65. Chris Johnson, number 75. The tackles, Dave Iwanski, 76. And Scott Staley, number 77. Saints in the pro set. It's Allen and Parker, the backs for Evans. The give to Allen, and Allen's almost got a 9-yard gain. They're going to mark it down at the 49-yard line.
Full 6 naked. Slot R, 47 give.
St. Charles, Chris Allen on the year, 32.
Well, you keep saying not to go to that guy. We got to go to him sometimes.
2 catches, 16 yards, 2 carries, 37 yards, 1 punt return, 89 yards for Chris Allen. 2nd down and 9. Peter Lee, by the way, made that last stop for the Hilltoppers.
Right out there.
2nd and 1, the backs in the offset eye. It's Parker down and Allen in the tailback. Allen's got it dancing around. He loses the ball, and it's going to go to Glenbard West. It's picked up by Lee. Lee's going to be taken down at the 31-yard line by Ryan Evans, so a big turnover. And the Hilltoppers get a couple gifts here by the Saints in this second quarter of play. They have a 1st and 10 at the Saint 31-yard line.
The ball is on the St. Charles 30-yard line.
Still with the wind at their backs, the Glenbard West Hilltoppers. Now we're looking to see Goldie, I believe, is at free safety, and Allen is not in the game. So Allen is not on defense. Going to steal another long pass play, well overthrown. It was Goldie and Genie on coverage for the Saints. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 31.
Every time for an interception.
All right. Unbelievable.
High school playoff football is all about it.
2nd down for the Hilltoppers. Tolentino, number 22, in the pro set to the right of Ben Russell. And it is Steele, a flanker on the near side, and Matt Brennan, the tight end on the near side. It is a double tight end set, but as I mentioned before, Brennan is the primary receiver from tight end for this team. The pitch is to Russell. He's going to be met at the 30-yard line, a gain of 1. That could have been Pete Galazzo at the bottom of the pile with the initial hit, and he was helped out by Jamie Wu.
Peter Galastro, gain of 1 yard on the play, brings up a 3rd and 9.
Tolentino's averaged 4.9 yards per carry thus far today. It's 3 yards per carry, 7 carries, 21 yards. 3rd down and 9 at the 30. And the give is to Tolentino down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll bring up a 4th down and 4. And the clock shows 7:49 and counting. The stop made by Steve Alpha of the Saints. Hilltoppers do not show a field goal this year, as Mike Shane has converted 21 of 25 extra point attempts. So they're going to go for it here on 4th and 5. The ball was spotted at the Saint 26. Rolling his Bowen. He's scrambling. He may get the first down unless they stop him, and he's got the first down at the 19-yard line. Saints had all kinds of chances to get him, and finally Pete Galazzo brought him down at the 19-yard line. First and 10, Glenbard West at the St. 19-yard line. The clock shows 6:55 and counting. Same offensive set. Tolentino and Russell the backs. Bowen the quarterback. Bowen gives to Tolentino. Big ball. He's going to go. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he's going to be met at the 7-yard line. That's a gain of 12. A gain of 12 on the play, and Dan Gutierrez made the stop. So it's 1st and goal. Hilltoppers at the St. 7.
Stop made by number 26.
outside the 6, about 7 yards.
So it's a 12-yard gain for Rafael Tolentino, and it's a first and goal at the 7-yard line. Saints in danger of looking at a tie ball game. Bowen straight up the middle, quarterback draw, and he's going to be stopped after a gain of 3. He goes down to the 4-yard line. Jamie Wu is on top of Bowen, and he was helped out by Ken Robinson.
Jamie Wu.
At the 4-yard line, it's second down and goal. Russell Tolentino, same offensive set, steal on the right side of the formation. Saints almost jump offside. They give us to Tolentino. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, picks up maybe a yarder on the play. Chris Allen there along with Steve Alf.
Third and goal.
Right in the middle there.
Third and goal at the 3-yard line for Glenbard West. Again, that same offensive set as the clock shows 5:12 left in this first half of play. Saints on top 14-6. Now Bowen looks at the Saints defense, doesn't like what he sees, and calls timeout. Starters on offense: Bachman, Robinson, Wu, and Armstrong on the line. Brad Baker, Steve Alf, and Ryan Peterson are the backers. And Galatro. Third and goal at the 3-yard line. We got to look for Tolentino, although Bowen keeps looking for a hole, and he runs into Brad Baker, and Baker relishes that stop on Bowen. Will bring up a 4th down, a loss of a yard on the play for Bowen. It'll be 4th and 5, 4th and goal at the 5, and looking, let's see if they're going to kick. And now the Hilltoppers call a second timeout on this series, and they come off the field. Well, it looks like the Hilltoppers will go for it rather than kicking the field goal, as the kicking tee is thrown off the field. It looked like number 12 was out there, Matt Toos. He might have been the holder, but now it's going to be a 4th and goal at the 5, and a big challenge for the Saints defense and a big challenge for the Hilltoppers offense. 4:39 left here in this first half. Saints lead by 8. Crowd on its feet. There's Bowen making the pass, and it's going to be tipped and almost intercepted by Allen, but knocked down on a defensive stand by the Saints. Chris Allen's fumble does not result in points, and the Saints still lead 14-6 with 4:34 left in the half. In their own end now, the Saints have the ball at the 5-yard line. Allen and Parker the backs for quarterback Ryan Evans, 4:34, and the Saints have dodged a cannon shell on that one. Evans gives to Parker. Parker looking for some tough yardage. He might be out to the 7-yard line. A pickup of 2. A stop was made by Adam Delahanty and by Tony Cozy. And we mentioned the Saints offensive line: Derico McPeak, Iwanski, Johnson, Staley. The tight end is Todd Wyatt. Starting split end: Chad Stone, Brian Withy at flanker, Ryan Evans at quarterback, Parker and Allen the running backs. Second down and 8 at the 7-yard line. And the give is to Parker. Parker hurdles a player out to the 9-yard line, so he picks up another yard or so. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 at the 9. 3:43 left in the half. Charlie Parker, 6 carries, 17 yards so far. 3rd and 5. They put the ball at the 10-yard line. Evans looking to throw. He's got to rush. Now he's going to run at the 5. He's at the 10. He's got to get to the 50. He's got the first down. And he's going to be taken down at the 18-yard line. The stop was made by Christian Heinz, but it's a big first down for the Saints.
All right, let's go slot left, 51 again. Slot left, 51. Well,
it's a big 8-yard gain for Ryan Evans on that scramble, as he was met out there by several Glenbard West players. It's a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line now. Parker and Allen remain the backs, 2 wideouts to the near side. The give is to Allen, and Allen can't get more than maybe a yard out to the 20-yard line. Stop was made by number 78, Todd Temple.
I don't think so.
Also helping out with that stop was Dion Adams. Second down, and they give Parker, or they give Allen 2 yards on that. It'll be a 2nd and 8. Ball just outside the 20. Looking to throw is Evans. He's got a man and almost intercepted by number 41, Adam Delahanty. Chris Allen was the intended receiver. The ball was thrown in back of Allen. Delahanty was in a better position to pick it off, and fortunately it wasn't. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 at the 21. There's 2:01 left. 3rd and 8 Saints. Scott Graham to the far side. Chad Stone the near side. Backs in the offset eye. And there's flags down before the snap, and that'll be a motion against the Saints. Should cost them 5 back to the 16-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 15. Excuse me, 3rd down and 14.
14.
50 yards plus this season running the football.
Saints come out of their huddle, 3rd down, and well, it looks like 3rd and 13 as the ball's at the 16-yard line. Minute 59 left. And as Evans looking to throw another flag, I think there'll be motion in the backfield. Scott Graham takes it down short of a 1st down at the 29-yard line. Now let's see if the Hilltoppers are going to have a choice on this. They may want the Saints to punt on this play and not take the penalty. Motion penalty on the Saints, and that's the 3rd penalty of the afternoon, total of 25 yards, and penalties have been hurting the Saints of late, especially last week against West, and early in this game when the Saints had a roughing the kicker penalty in the end zone of Glenbard West. So it's 3rd and long, and Evans looking to throw. He gets a good block at the goal line. The pass is out there off the fingertips. I think that was Todd Wyatt. That was Todd Wyatt, almost a circus catch. He would have had the 1st down, and you got to credit a good block that time at the goal line by Andy McPeak, because Evans would have been clobbered. McPeak made a good clean block to take out that tackler. Brian Paglia will punt now from his own end zone. He is punting into the wind, and the wind, well, maybe gusting a little bit. Doesn't seem as hard as it was when this game started. Minute 33 left. The safety is standing at the Saint 42-yard line. There's a rush. Punt gotten away by Paglia. Going to the far sides, taken in by number 14. That's Todd Cantu. And Cantu's going to be met at the 41 by a horde of Saints led by Chris Allen. Dan Gutierrez also helped out on that stop for the Saints. At the 42, again in St. Charles territory, the Hilltoppers have a 1st down. Tolentino and Russell, the backs, steal to the near side. Brennan to the near side, rolling, looking to pass. His ball, he's got a good rush, he's going to be taken down. And John Goldie was in position at the 20-yard line, slipped and fell, could not come up with the interception. And they took Bowen down cleanly, no flag on the play. And Bowen was hit pretty hard as he let that ball get away. Mike Bachman, the big leader on that St. rush.
Did you have to refs about that, Buck?
Second and 10, Hilltoppers at the St. 42.5-yard line. 1:02 left. Hilltoppers have 1 timeout left as they burned 2 on their last drive that resulted in no points for the Hilltopper team. And to give straight ahead to Russell. Russell down to the 31-yard line. Ken Robinson with the stop, and also Oscar Gutierrez. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7, maybe 3rd and 6.
Good idea to call a timeout. Just give him another chance to throw.
Okay, following a Saint timeout, it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Hilltoppers at the Saint 38. 56 seconds left in the half. The Saints on top, 14-6. Backs split, Russell and Tolentino. They give to Tolentino, and Ken Robinson stops Tolentino coming over his back, maybe a 2-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up a 4th and 4 at the Saint 37.
Watch the quick kick. Watch the fumble roost.
On a 4th and 5, the Hilltoppers are going for it with 48 seconds left. The Saints had just taken their 2nd timeout. They hope to get the ball back, and there was some discussion of whether the Hilltoppers were going to go for it or punt. And hands under center, Matt Bowen. Bowen coming to the near side, looking to cut in, and he is going to be stopped. Well, he's going to be close. The line of scrimmage is the 32.5-yard line. If they spot him at the 33, it's a St. Paul, and I think the Saints will get the ball back. Yes, it is. Unless there's a strange measurement that occurs on this one, it should be Saints' ball. And it is. So the Saints take over with 42 seconds left. No huddle for the Saints. Chad Stone on the near side. Allen and Parker, the running backs for Ryan Evans, and we've got Brian Withy standing on the far side of the field as the wideout to the right of the Saints offense.
We got 1 timeout or 2, Buck?
And there's Evans rolling, looking to pass, looking for Withy. Long, he's got him at the sideline, complete and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. The coverage was by Todd Cantu. First down Saints on the 13-yard gain, 32 seconds left. And credit Withy with a 12-yard reception. The ball is spotted at the 45-yard line now. 32 seconds on the clock, first and 10 Saints. Two wideouts near side, moving early on the right side of the Saints line. And that play's going to come back as Parker carries out to the 49. And the Saints will be called for procedure on that one. I think it was Todd Wyatt shooting out on that play.
360 split screen.
Okay, 5-yard call brings the ball back to the Saint 40. It's first and 15, and dropping straight back is Evans. He's got Chad Stone on that inside wideout screen. He drops it, and play goes incomplete to bring up a second and 15.
That's been the same play. Never picked it up.
Second down and 15 for the Saints. 23 seconds now left in the half. Single setback. As Charlie Parker, Allen is out there as a receiver, rolling as Evans. The ball floats out. It's going to be picked off. And the Saints made an ill-attempted pick or a tip by Chad Stone. The pass was thrown high, floated in the wind. And the pass was intercepted by Todd Cantu with 17 seconds left. And now, at their own 44-yard line, the Hilltoppers are in position for a strike. Because of taking their last time out, and they come out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage at their own 44. 17 seconds on the clock. Saints lead 14-6. Chris Allen back at free safety for the Saints. On the near side, the corner, Dan Gutierrez, and it's Brian Genie on the far side. Give him a lot of room. And that is Russell carrying ahead for almost 10 yards down to the 46-yard line. 8 seconds, 7. Clock running down. As they move the chains, the clock will stop momentarily. It'll be a second down, so that's a 9-yard gain. 7 seconds. And now there's a continued official timeout. I don't know why. As they're going to have a measurement. Okay, measurement said that the Hilltoppers were about a foot short. The clock shows 7, and they should crank it right now. 6, 5, cranking down, back to pass it. Bourne looking for Steele. He lofts it out long. Looks it long, and there's Dan Gutierrez with the pick at the 7-yard line. And a big block by John Goldie on Steele. Steele doesn't know what year it is right now, laying on there at the 5-yard line. And Gutierrez brings the ball back to the 33-yard line as the half ends with the Saints on top by a score of 14-6. We'll see you at halftime in a moment.
Just a reminder, this game can be seen on the
field at halftime where the Saints are returning to the field. They lead the Hilltoppers by a score of 14-6. Let's look at some halftime numbers. Quarterback Ryan Evans for the Saints has completed 3 of 8 passes for 49 yards. He's had 1 interception that late in the ballgame. Charlie Parker in the ball carrying department, 6 carries, only 17 yards, and that's the second week in a row we've seen Parker have problems. And then Chris Allen, only 4 carries for 17 yards. So the Saints have really run the ball with their running backs 10 times. If I recall, Ryan Evans did have an 8-yard carry for a first down on his own. Big play, really, Chris Allen, 2 catches, 37 yards. And, of course, he put the Saints on the board with 5:38 left in the first quarter with an 89-yard punt return before the Saints even touched the ball for the first time. And he was the first Saint. That 89-yard punt return, an incredible thing of beauty, circling around at his own 11-yard line and coming up the far sideline, coming across the middle, and then down the right side for the TD. Allen also scored on a 7-yard run with 10:58 left in the second, and in both touchdown cases, Ryan Evans' kicks were good, and the Saints led 14-0. With 10:17 left, Steele scored on a 90-yard touchdown pass with the win from Bowen to put Glenbard West on the scoreboard for the first and only time of the half. And the extra point was blocked by Mike Bachman, and the Saints led 14-6, which is the score right now. Again, looking back at the Saints' numbers, 45 yards rushing, 49 yards passing. The offense really hasn't been there in that first half. They truly missed Kirk Wilderspin. We saw him at halftime, and he was not on crutches, but he had a significant limp. So the Saints had 94 total yards, and more significantly, they turned the ball over 2 times. One, a Chris Allen fumble. That resulted in no points, fortunately, and that really was culminated by a knockdown pass at the goal line on a 4th and 5. And then Ryan Evans was intercepted by Cantu late in that first half of play. There has been offense from the Dunbar West, however. Bowen only completed 2 of 7, but for 105 yards, of which the 90-yard pass reception was part of that. He was intercepted to end the first half by Danny Gutierrez, and of course he's thrown for that 1 touchdown. In the rushing department, Bowen's rushed 8 times for 5 yards, well below what he is capable of, and he is the leading rusher on this ball club. Tolentino, second leading rusher, has carried the ball 10 times. He's only gotten 39 yards, and Russell Ford carries 14 yards. The only catch of note for the 2 that Bowen completed was the steal for 90 yards. The total offense for Glenbard West, 58 rushing, 105 passing, 163 total, and of course they had the 1 turnover, so 163 to 94, not reflected in the score as the Saints lead 14-6. And maybe we'll see, or we hope we'll see what we saw last week at West Aurora, where the Saints really came alive offensively in the second half of play. Not unlike last year also, when there was some electrifying runs by Robert Farmer that brought the Bolingbrook team back in the ball game. Again, today it was an early on catch by Steele for 90 yards. So let's see if the Saints can continue to play some good defense, which they are, and juice up the offense a bit and go back home for a game Saturday against either Downers Grove South or Naperville North. But we'll be able to report that in another 24 minutes of play. And again, we'll wrap up halftime here at Duchamp Field in Glen Ellen. The score of the Saints 14, the Glenbard West Hilltoppers 6. Okay, the Saints will receive to open the second half of play. Kicking off for the Hilltoppers will be number 64, Mike Shane. And deep for the Saints, in a familiar position, is Chris Allen. He is standing back at his own 14-yard line. Now Shane will be kicking into the wind to start this third quarter. And the Saints had the wind at their backs in the first quarter and third quarter. And the wind has come into play. I got to believe that 90-yard touchdown pass floated out there nicely into Steele's hands. A good reason primarily because of the wind and not taking away any arm strength from Matt Bowen, but the wind had a lot to do with it. Shane squib kicked on the kickoff after their only touchdown, and of course Shane's only kickoff, and we'll see if he does that again to keep the ball away from Chris Allen. I'm not sure if Allen expected. He's got his hand on the hip standing back at the 14. There's Shane, another squib up the middle. It's going to be taken by John Goldie straight up the middle. Goldie on his feet, sifting through some traffic, and John did a nice move to try to get through some heavy going, and he's out at the 42-yard line. So the Saints, they don't kick to Chris Allen. They still have good field position at their own 42. And Randy Kretsch made that stop for the Hilltoppers, and the Saints have a 1st and 10 at their own 42. It's Parker and Allen the backs. The pitch to Allen on the far side. He turns the corner at the 40, the 45, picks up about 4 yards out to the 46-yard line. The stop was made by Dan Solanskis, and will bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Slot right 57, Buck. Slot right 57.
Out to the near side, Chad Stone and Scott Graham.
Did we get a crack block? 24 made the tackle.
Allen and Parker the backs in the offset eye. Allen from the fullback spot. 11:05 left here in this third quarter of play. Saints up by 8. And there's a gift to the counter to Allen on the far side, maybe a yard and a half out to the 47. The stop was made by Dion Adams and also by Todd Temple.
Let's go slot right.
Down in 5 Saints, and this offense has gone a little bit of nowhere so far this afternoon. There's Evans now rolling right, looking to throw. He's got Withy short for the 1st down and out of bounds. Hit hard at the 46-yard line. The stop was made by Adam Delahanty, but a good grab and good concentration by Brian Withy. 1st down, St. Charles.
1-3.
2 catches for Brian Withy this afternoon for 20 yards. He's replaced by Scott Graham and goes into the slot with Chad Stone splitting out the left side. Single setback as Charlie Parker's there, and Chris Allen is the wingback. Rolling, looking to throw over to the far side. He's got his man. Almost a 9-yard pickup, a hard hit over there. And let's see who made the catch. It was Scott Graham, and again the stop was made by Adam Delahanty, but a sizable gain on 1st down for the Saints. It'll bring up a 2nd down and short, 2nd and 2.
Evans dropped back. There you see it.
Withy and Graham exchanging places, bringing plays in. Graham, or Withy in the lineup. He's the split out on the far side.
2nd and 2.
Stone stays in on the near side.
9:45 in the 3rd quarter. 14.
Ryan Evans looks over the Hilltopper defense, hands under center. He keeps himself, he looks, and he's going to be sacked back at the midfield stripe. A big hit by Dion Adams, and I'm surprised that Evans got up after that hit. The ball's marked at the 49. It's a loss of almost, 11 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 13. Scott Graham brings the play in. Now we've got Graham in the slot on the near side, and also Chad Stone, a tight formation. And at the wing is Allen on the counter, and Allen's going to be play smelled out right initially. Right from the beginning, Allen gets nothing on it. It'll bring up a 4th down and about 13 yards. The carry or the stop made by Todd Temple and also by Tony Cozy. So Brian Pollier in the punt. He's got the wind at his back. He's standing at the 39. 8:32 and counting. The time left here in the 3rd quarter. So the Saints fizzle on offense on this first series of the 2nd half. And there's a good snap to Pollier. The rush is on, and a good punt by Pollier. Fair catch signal back at the... He's going to drop the fair catch. And let's see if the Saints have it. They say yes. Todd Wyatt's on their signal. Yes. Chris Allen said yes. Saints ball. And a very... Chris Benter's got the fumble. Let's see who actually signaled for that fair catch. It looked to be Russell. Oh, excuse me, it was number 21, Peter Lee, and he signaled fair catch, bounced right off his chest, and Chris Benter's there on special teams coverage. And the Saints, they get a big turnover deep now in Glenbard West territory. Ball at the 11, 1st and 10. That is the first start for the Saints in Glenbard West territory in this ball game, which has not happened to the Saints much this year in terms of having offense. And there's the keeper by Evans, and he's hitting fumbles out of bounds. So, boy, we've got, that was Renna. That was Renna with the carry. So Renna fumbles, and the stop and the hit made by number 52, Tony Cozy.
Tell Mike
At the 11-yard line, the 12-yard line, it's a 2nd and 11. And let's see, Evans back at a quarterback. It's the jumbo formation with Ken Robinson. The pitch deep to Parker. Parker runs into a tackler at the 11, carries him down to the 9. So it's going to be a gain of about 3 yards. The initial stop was made by Todd Cantu. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7 at the 8, or at the 9-yard line. So at the 9-yard line for the Saints, it's a 3rd down. This time John Goldie is in that jumbo formation as Chris Allen gets a breather. It's Robinson as the deep back. Evans rolling, looking to pass out of the jumbo. He's got a man in the end zone, and it's going to be knocked away at the last second by number 41. That was Adam Delahanty with the knockdown, and it was intended for Todd Wyatt, and that'll bring up a 4th down at the 9-yard line. So the Saints still having problems moving the ball after that fumble by Lee. And now we'll see Ryan Evans attempt field goal.
It looked like he was open down the...
Pollier will spot the ball at the 16-yard line, so we're looking at a 26-yard attempt, 7:06 left. He's got the wind at his back. It's a good snap from center. The kick is up. High end over end and good. So with 7 minutes and 2 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter of play on a 26-yard field goal by Ryan Evans, the Saints are now on top of the Hilltoppers, 17-6.
In favor, St. Charles.
40 yards of reception.
Yeah, dude.
40 yards of reception.
Yeah, I like it kind of like the rollback out of the R18.
So we'll see if Glenbard West, the one thing they have done.
That wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right.
Hassani Steele and the Tolentino brothers are deep for the Hilltoppers. They're standing back. The Tolentino's at the 5-yard line, Steele at the 3. And with the wind at his back, it's Brian Pollier approaching the ball, and he boots it high end over end. It'll be short, coming up to Rafael Tolentino at the 5. He's at the 15, and he is going to be hit by John Goldie and by Chris Benters and by Dan Gutierrez. So at the 15-yard line, the Hilltoppers take over deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 Hilltoppers, clock running with 6:44 left in the third quarter. Saints on top by 11, 17-6.
They did it last
Same
time.
offensive
Play.
set is Russell Tolentino, the keeper by, well, it's Tolentino running right into Ken Robinson and Jamie Wu and Mike Bachman and Scott Armstrong. That's the whole Saints front four. So a stop credited to the front four of the Saints. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 as there's no gain credited to Tolentino that time. Out of their huddle on 2nd down. Steele to the near side. Dan Brennan, a tight end on the far side. This time Tolentino's to the right of Matt Bowen with Russell directly in back in the pro set.
Under 6 minutes.
And rolling right is Bowen looking to cut now. He's got an opening, and Pete Galatro is going to take him down after a gain of 13 yards out to the 30-yard line. Matt Bowen, 9 carries, 18 yards on the afternoon, way below his average of 6.4 per carry. He's a 795-yard ground gainer during the regular season. 5:34, clock running here in the third. Bowen takes the snap, gives to Russell, and going to be stopped after a gain of about 3. We've got Steve Alf in that pile along with Scott Armstrong. 2nd down and 6 at the St. 30, or at the Glenbard West 34-yard line. We're under 5 minutes left here in the third. And the same formation. Double tight end, and there's a pass looking for a man over the middle. That's Brennan wide open. Gutierrez takes him down after a big gain down to the St. 42-yard line. A pickup of almost, well, let's see, 10, 20, almost 28 yards. At the 42-yard line, it's a 1st and 10 in St. territory. 4.5 minutes left. And the Hilltoppers moving the ball. And Bowen going to his right, looking for option. He meets Bowen. It looks like Jamie Woo's got it at midfield. Woo made the play all by himself. He grabs Bowen's arm. Bowen lost the ball. And Jamie Woo alertly went after the ball, pushing Bowen away. He got the fumble. Big turnover for the Saints. And they take over at the midfield stripe. Saints come up the line of scrimmage. There were 5 turnovers in the ball game. Only 1 has resulted in points, and that was the Peter Lee fumble on that punt return that resulted in the Saints field goal. And there's Allen. Allen running into a wall, picks up about 3 down to the 48-yard line. He is going to be stopped by Mike Victor, number 73.
Well, let's go left. 99 curl.
Any kind of points on the board off this turnover, that's back-breaking play.
2nd down and 7 at the 48-yard of Glenbard West. 3:34 and counting here in the third quarter. Evans looking to throw, rolling left, and he is going to be sacked back to the 45-yard line. That stop was made by Randy Kretsch, and Saints are going backwards on this drive. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 14 now.
398, tight end screen.
3rd down and 15. The ball's at the Saint 44-yard line. Saints have got to do something to open this offense up. Evans got another rush, throws a screen to the far side, down on his knees at the 40-yard line. The catch made by Wyatt for a loss of 4 yards on the play. The Saints will have a 4th and 19 coming up. They'll have to punt. Palya punting with the wind at his back. He's standing at his 27-yard line. 2 safeties back. Lee is one of them, and there's a big rush on Palya. Palya gets it away, and it goes over to Lee at the 21-yard line. Chris Allen after Lee, grabs him by the shirt, throws him down. One-handed stop by Chris Allen. One-man showdown there on defense for the Saints at the 16-yard line. The Hilltoppers take over with 2:15 left.
There's a man coming up, but John.
The Glenbard 16-yard line.
They are never out of it. Play capabilities from
At the 16-yard line, it's a 1st and 10 Hilltoppers. The clock cranking down to 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Saints on top by 11. And there's Bowen giving up the middle, and let's see who carried. It looked to be Russell with the ball out to the 20-yard line, a pickup of 3. 2nd down and 7 at the 20-yard line. Tolentino directly in back of Bowen, and Russell, number 31, to the left of Tolentino. And coming to the near side is Bowen, looking to option up, gets a good block, but he's going to be met at the 25 by Steve Alf. Alf makes the stop, 2 yards shy of a first down. It's a pickup of 5 for Bowen. One for the Hilltoppers, 46 seconds, the clock running out here in the third. Only one score. They had a 26-yard field goal by Ryan Evans. And sneaking ahead is Bowen. He's got the first down out to the 32.5-yard line. He picked it up by at least a yard, and the Hilltoppers have a first down with 36 seconds left in the third.
Brad Baker going off. You mentioned that he was a little beaten up heading into this contest.
And you might be safe second down because they're not running back very often. They like that option.
Eric Nauman has replaced Brad Baker at linebacker, and Baker made that stop and got up a little slowly after the play. So Nauman in there in the center of the backing core for the Saints. And there's Bowen giving to Russell, and Russell gets nothing at the 33-yard line as Ken Robinson there with the stop along with Mike Bachman.
Going to lay the ball out there again.
And that ends the third quarter of play here at Dushan Field. The score of the St. Charles Fighting Saints 17, the Glenbard West Hilltoppers 6. Starting the fourth quarter of play here at Dushan Field, the Hilltoppers have a first down just inside their own 30. Excuse me, a second down. 9 yards to go. The back's in the pro set. The pitch to Tolentino, and Tolentino's got a hole. It's going to be met by Galatro with the initial hit, and also Brad Baker back in the defense, and a pickup of maybe 4 yards that time for Tolentino. Will bring up a 3rd and 5.
Now look at the third and quarterback draw here, too.
3rd down and 4, the ball spotted between the 34 and the 35-yard lines. 11.5 minutes left now in this ball game. Backs are split behind Matt Bowen, and Steele remains the single wideout. Bowen looking for Steele, flips it out there. Steele's got it, and Steele still on his feet at the 47-yard line. He's going to be taken out by Steve Alp, but a big first down for the Hilltoppers on a 3rd down play, and they continue the drive at their own 48-yard line. 14-yard gain on that little pass from Bowen to Steele. And we've got 11 minutes left here in this ball game. Same lineup. There's the give to Tolentino, and Oscar Gutierrez rides Tolentino down at the midfield stripe, a pickup of 2 yards. Ken Robinson also with help on that stop.
Or they might try to.
At the midfield stripe, it's 2nd down and 8. Chris Allen is at free safety at the moment. And I believe Brad Baker is in the game. Yes, he is. Now there's a rush on Bowen. He gets through. He's at midfield. He's got some more, and he's going to be taken down by an ankle stop by Pete Galatro, and he really turned well, actually between Bowen and Galatro, Bowen turned around and caused a 3-yard gain to a no gain, and looks like Bowen's limping a little bit, or else he's stopping the ground in disgust that he turned that play around. Pete Galatro with an excellent defensive play that time.
I look for him to come back to that right now.
And 8. Ball still at midfield. It's Steele as the wideout on the far side, the flanker. Brendan is the tight end on that side. Tolentino and Russell. Bowen looking to pass, looking for Steele. Woos over there. The pass to Steele is complete, and playing way off was Brian Genie. Was way off on that play, and there's a 15-yard gain and a first down at the 35. But there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage, and that play is going to come back, as it looks like it's going to be.
An illegal man downfield?
Well, let's see what the call is.
Is that lost it down?
He really collapsed the field. You don't know when he's going to take off.
Still doing it right. You have to contain first. Coach Buck tried to emphasize that when we talked to him earlier this week. Contain first, then come up and make the play.
Well, that was an illegal man downfield for the Hilltoppers. Saints get a break. The ball brought back 5 yards to the Hilltopper 45. It's now a 3rd down and 13 from that point. And Bowen fakes the hand up to Tolentino, throws it long. The ball's flopping around. Genie is there, and Steele almost had that reception as Gutierrez, was the defender. It looked like he misjudged the play, and it went over his head, and Steele almost had the reception and the first down. So 2 plays in a row, the Saints get a break and some questionable pass coverage, but Danny Gutierrez gets a little bit of a lucky break that time, and it'll bring up 4th and 13 at the 45-yard line. There's 9:17 left in the ball game now. In punt formation is Mike Shane, and deep for the Saints, Chris Allen standing at his 20 is Charlie Parker at the 30, and I believe also John Goldie at the 30. And there's a good punt gotten away. No flags are down. The ball is sailing. A good punt by Shane, and it goes out at the 1-yard line. Coffin corner kick of 55 yards by Mike Shane, and the Saints are pinned in deep in their own territory. Coffin corner boot by Mike Shane with that win, and with 9:10 left, the Saints are as deep as you can get in their own territory. Ryan Evans, the quarterback, looks over the Hilltopper defense, makes the good handoff. There's a big hole for the first man through. That's Chris Allen, and boy, the Saints get some breathing room out to the 8-yard line. The stop was made by Peter Lee, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 3. John Goldie replaces Chris Allen in the backfield. It's a jumbo set with Ken Robinson down there and Charlie Parker and John Goldie. 2nd down and 3 at the 8. Coming up on 8.5 minutes left in the ball game. And there's the give to Parker, and Parker's got the first down out to the 17-yard line. Right. And another Peter Lee stop, and a good hard run that time by Charlie Parker of the Saints. Charlie Parker, 8 carries, 29 yards. Now Goldie leaves the ball game, and you got to believe Chris Allen is back in there. And it is the jumbo set still. Let's see, we've got Robinson, only Robinson, not the jumbo. It's Robinson and Parker. And it is Chris Allen, I believe, in back there. I just lost him, but it is the jumbo with Robinson in the back end. And there's the roll. He's got a man open. Overthrows Chris Allen at the 25-yard line. As Lee was on coverage, Allen might have gotten that ball and gone off the sideline a bit. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 18.
Let's go slot right on 9.
Ryan Evans on the afternoon, 6 completions, 13 attempts, 61 yards. He's been intercepted once. And he hasn't been quite as sharp as we've seen Ryan Evans in the past. But so far he's getting the job done. The pitch fumbled by Goldie. Goldie trying to get back to the line of scrimmage on his feet, still fighting for good yardage. A pickup of almost 6 yards that time for John Goldie. It'll leave a 3rd and 3. Second effort by Goldie made it happen. The stop was made by Tony Cozy. 7:38 left in the ballgame. Chad Stone out to the near side. Goldie comes out of the game. It's Scott Graham to the far side. Looks like Allen and Parker are the backs in the offset I formation. Rolling right is Ryan Evans looking to throw. He does, and he's got his man. And that's Scott Graham over at the 35-yard line. Good for a first down, a pickup of 10. And a big conversion on 3rd down for Ryan Evans, Scott Graham, and the Saints. Pithy back in the ball game now, and he comes out in the near side in the slot with Chad Stone split out. Clock cranking down at 7:12. Actually, that was stopped on the out-of-bound play. The pitch to Allen on the far side. He's got room at the 40, the 45, and he's taken out of bounds over there on that far side by Peter Lee, and they're going to call him out at the 45, so it's a gain of 5 for Allen. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 with 7:05 left.
Slot left, 91.
Well, big mistake on my part. That was a 10-yard gain for a first down by Chris Allen. I was looking at the last down marker and counting yardage back from there, but Chris picks up 10. Goldie back in at running back. He takes the carry. He's going to be stopped for a yard loss on the play back at the 44-yard line. The stop was made by, or the stops were made by Dion Adams and also by Dan Solanskis. It'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Clock shows 6:51 and counting, and the Saints on top 17-6. Chris Allen on the afternoon, 10 carries, 43 yards, and Goldie stays in the game with Charlie Parker. And a pitch to Goldie. Goldie picks it out of the air. He's at the midfield strike, dragging a tackler, fighting ahead for yardage. Almost picks up 10 yards on the carry. He does get 10. He's going to be about a half yard shy of a first down on that 2nd and 11 play. It'll be 3rd and 1, 3rd and short for the Saints. We're under 6:15 and counting. John Goldie, 3 carries, 15 yards on this drive.
46 yards.
And the jumbo's back in. Chris Allen, Charlie Parker, Ken Robinson. It's 3rd and a half yard at the 45.5 yard line. Evans looks at the Glenbard West defense, gives to Allen's got the first down, and he gets over the 45, maybe down to the 44 yard line. The clock continues to run. We're at 5:44 now, and the Saints have a 1st and 10.
But good first down yards. 1st and 10, St. Charles.
Situation tackles were out. Linebacker came, but tackles were
Clock shows 5:39 and running. The Saints on top by 11. The jumbo stays in place. Allen and Parker with Ken Robinson. Robinson looks like he's been through a war between the defensive line and this jumbo set. And there's a give to Parker. Parker dances through traffic, picks up almost 6 down to the 39 yard line. The stop made by number 41, Adam Delahanty, but a big gain for Charlie Parker, who seems to be turning it on now.
You go blast left away.
We credit Parker with a 5 yard gain. The ball spotted now at the 39 yard line. Clock shows 4:50 and counting. The pitch to the far side to Allen, and Allen runs into a brick wall after picking up maybe a 2 yard gain. The tackle was made by Todd Cantu, and it'll bring up a 3rd down, and maybe about 3 yards needed for the Saints for a 1st down. They're going into the wind, so you expect them to go 2 plays on this one unless they decide to punt. Ball spotted exactly on the 38 of Glenbard West. They've got to get to the 34, actually the 34 and a half. The jumbo set is in there once again. Saints are set on the line of scrimmage. Evans taking his time. He gives to Goldie. Goldie running into a wall at the 35 and a half, so he's going to be about a yard shy of a 1st down as the stop was made again by Adam Delahanty. And we see now under 4 minutes, 3:56 and counting. Clock continues to run. Saints need 1 yard to keep this drive alive. Chris Allen comes into the lineup. John Goldie departs, and Ken Robinson basically been there this whole drive in this jumbo blocking running formation with the double tight ends. And now there's a timeout on the field charged against Glenbard West. The clock is stopped with 3:24 left in the ballgame. The Saints on top 17-6. Fourth down for the Saints. They need a yard. This drive started at the Saint 1, and it's already eaten up 5 minutes and 46 seconds of the clock. Jumbo set and dropping offside. There might have been motion on number 75, but it looks like number 66 came across Randy Kretsch, and
blast right.
It should cost 5 yards against the Hilltoppers and an automatic 1st down for the Saints, as the Saints only needed 1 and they get 5. This drive started with 9:10 left in the 4th quarter. There's 3:24 left right now in this ball game. The pitch to Parker on the far side is at the 35, gets to the line of scrimmage, full head of steam, on his feet at the 20. It looks like he's got a 1st down at the 20-yard line. At least he picks up 10. The stop was made by Peter Lee, and they say yes, 1st down Saints. So it looks like Charlie Parker has come alive.
Blast left 20.
Super job of blocking on the
Charlie Parker has come alive. He's now carried 10 times in the ball game for 44 yards, and that was the Charlie Parker with some acceleration, speed around the corner, and a big 10-yard gain and another 1st down at the 20-yard line for the Saints with 2:53 left. The jumbo set stays in. And the give to Parker again. Parker's going to break through the 5 at the 3-yard line. They say hit one ball. They're saying touchback. No. They're saying touchback, that he wasn't down. And out at the 20-yard line, the Hilltoppers will get the ball. The ball hit the ground, and it came out.
After it hit the ground, and that's just a bad call on the part of the ref.
Charlie spiked the damn ball, Buck.
Parker spiked the ball. What he did.
No, I think.
We got a center right formation.
Well, they say Parker was, unofficially, we say Parker was down. The officials say he wasn't. They call it a fumble with 2:39 left. The Hilltoppers trail by 11 with the wind at their back. They're looking for Steele on the near side. He's got it, goes out of bounds.
No, he didn't have control of it.
At the 20-yard line, the official says it's a 4-yard gain out to the 24.
Boy, he was still bobbling the ball.
And
Ball spotted just shy of the 25-yard line. There'll be a second, we'll call it 6 unofficially. Russell and Rafael Tolentino are and have been the backs all game long. Bowen looking for Steele on fake, and he's hit as he lets the ball go away. It's going to be intercepted by Danny Control, and he drops it. it at the 38-yard line. Gutierrez had it and dropped it, and a big hit on Bowen, and Bowen is down in the backfield. And boy, let's see who made that hit. That might have been Ryan Peterson, and shaken up is Bowen, and Bowen may have to come out of the game. No, he's just walking over to the sideline and get the next play. Bowen was hurt on that play. An official timeout as Bowen comes to the sideline. They're going to make him leave the ball game? I believe so.
Who had the rush that time? Peterson?
I mentioned it's a handoff or it's 82. You think they'd be handing off, though?
The other thing is a
Well,
tight
the
end.
third down in long 5, Matt Tewes his quarterback as Bowen was shaken up. He may be back on that next play. He didn't want to come out of the ball game. The officials made him leave. Tewes, hands under center on third down at his own 25. Three-step drop. Stutters gets hit. The ball's out there and taken almost on a dead run. Intended for Steele, and another drop by Steele, and Genie and Allen look like to have a better shot at it. Steele continued to run, and almost a long reception by Steele from Tewes. It'll bring up a 4th down and 5.5 at the 24.5. 2:21 left in the ball game, and coming back in is Bowen at quarterback as Tewes leaves.
Angle on this.
Twice.
4th down for the Hilltoppers. 2:21 left in this ball game. Saints on top by 11. Bowen back at quarterback. He needs 6 for a 1st down. It's a good rush by Wu. And now there's Bachman trying to get, and getting the 1st down at the 31-yard line is Bowen. It'll be a 1st down as Mike Bachman chased him out of bounds. And 2:14 left, and the clock is stopped.
Might go that out again.
Touchdown.
On a 1st down play from the Hilltoppers at their own 31-yard line. Tolentino and Russell. The only wideout all game long is Steele, and Bowen gives to Tolentino, and Tolentino, oh, that was a fumble Ruski to number 52. Very full us. Tony Cousy takes it and rumbles out about 8 yards to the 40-yard line. John Goldie and Brad Baker with the stop. It's a 9-yard gain for Cousy. And the clock is running with 1:50 left in the ball game. And there's Bowen looking for Steele, throwing to the sideline, incomplete to Steele at the 44. Dan Gutierrez on coverage. 1:45 left in the ball game.
45 seconds left to play.
Let him go for the 1st down.
Bowen 4 out of 13 on the completion department, 151 yards, 1 interception. Almost several others. Dan Gutierrez on this particular drive. It's 3rd down and 1, minute 45 at the 40-yard line. The give is to Russell. Russell doesn't get there. He is stopped right at the 40. He'll bring up a 4th and 1. And the clock is running with 1:37 as Brad Baker made that stop for the Saints.
They got to get 1st down first. They got to get 1st down first. And quarterback scramble again. Look for quarterback scramble.
Clock running with 1:22 left in the ball game. Dan Gutierrez out on the near side on Steele. Chris Allen and I also. And they're stopping his left foot. He's going to be stopped. Short of the 1st down. The Saints will take over on downs. A great defensive stand. Bachman, Pete Colatro, Oscar Gutierrez down at the bottom of the pile. Brad Baker, Jamie Wu, and the Saints stop. The Hilltoppers at the 40 at Saints ball with 1:13 left in the ball game. They lead 17-6.
You don't run at Jamie Wu and Ken Robinson. They haven't been able to do it all game long. It's kind of a surprise.
Russell, I think. Russell.
We may get a penalty, guy.
Gotta hurry. Gotta hurry. All right, you're getting off. 49 seconds. Congrats. You bet.
Second team in for the Saints will be a delay of game penalties. We see Mike Renna out there and Andy Kallenberg and Kevin Montague, Chris Benters, Samir Shah. So the clock shows 46 seconds on that delay. And we'll spend a few seconds summarizing this ball game as we hope the Saints can run this clock down with 46 left. It's Montague and Benters the backs for Mike Renna.
You may have to punt.
On a 1st and 15. And Renna gives to Benters. Benters into a pile, picks up 2. And the stop was made by number 78, Todd Temple. The clock shows 37 seconds. It continues to run. 34, 33. Coming into the lineup, Brian Waver for the Saints, and Samir Shah leaves. Also checking in for the Saints, number 65, Andy McPeak for that offensive line. Hollenberg to the near side, Waver to the far side. 17 seconds left in the ball game. The clock is running down. It's Benters and Montague, the backs. 11 seconds, 10 seconds, ball dropped by Renna. Renna is going to be stopped for no gain as the tackle was made by Van Brennan, and that should do it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the St. Charles Fighting Saints advance to the Sweet 16 of the 6A IHSA football playoffs, their third consecutive first-round victory. And just looking at some final offensive numbers, the Saints really again had a rough time offensively against a good Glenbard West defense, and they picked up 200 total yards of offense, 262 total yards for the Hilltoppers. And let's just look at some Saint numbers. Charlie Parker, even with that last carry of 17 yards that he had that apparent fumble, he carried 11 times, got 61 yards, so he snapped out of his funk. Chris Allen, a strong game, 12 carries, 47 yards. And John Goldie chipped in on that last drive that ate up a big portion of the clock. He carried 4 times for 17 yards. On the passing end, Ryan Evans passed the ball 14 times. And we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 14. He was intercepted once and basically wasn't sharp, but he got the job done for the Saints. And again, the big star maybe of this ball game, as it has been all season, was Chris Allen, who started the Saints off with the 5:38 mark of that first period with an 89-yard punt return, his third punt return for a touchdown this season. And Evans' kick made it 7-0. Then Allen tacked on the second touchdown that turned out to be the winning points. And on a 7-yard run with 10:58 left in the second quarter. And the only score this afternoon for the Hilltoppers, a 90-yard pass play from Bowen to Steele. The kick was blocked by Bachman, and it was 14-6 at halftime. A field goal by Ryan Evans of 26 yards in the second half, and that gave us a final score of 17-6. So we're going to go back home tonight, turn on the radios, and we'll listen to the Naperville North Downers Grove South game to see who we play next. The game will be at Norris Stadium in St. Charles, and we assume it'll be Saturday afternoon, but that time and will still have to be set. So the Saints, again, 3 years in a row getting past this first-round game. This wasn't quite the game we had it with Conant 2 years ago and last year at Bolingbrook. Saints just basically did what they had to do to win today, and you can't take anything away from the Glenbard West team. They gave the Saints all they can handle. So again, from Duchamp Field here at Glenbard West High School in Glen Ellyn, Illinois, the Saints move on to round 2. They defeat the Glenbard West Hilltoppers by a final score of 17-6.
17-6 the final score. And Ron has
Now,
statistical information. What's the